In lecture 7, we're going to be creating water effects. So now we have our depth with our particles. Now's the best time to start animating some water. And this is known as secondary animation. So let's click over to our water layer. We'll do this first one for now. So with the water layer selected, let's go to Effect, Distort, Ripple Effect. Let's bump up the radius. And for now, let's just bump up the wave quite high, just so we can see where it is. You should be able to start seeing the ripples. I'll just bump it up further. Make the radius quite high. And then let's grab hold of this anchor point. So if you click on this, the center of the ripple, bring it down to the bottom corner, because this is exactly where I want the ripple to start coming out. And then start rippling this area over here. Okay, like we could tone this down. I'll just move my work area start back to 5. So we can see the ripple, because before it's out of shot. So let's have a quick RAM preview of this. So it's pretty crazy. Let's tone down the radius. I say we'll go to 25. Yeah, that's not bad. We could maybe move that a little bit further up. So let's say 35. Let's put the height down to 18. Just playing around with these settings, just seeing how it looks. I might move the center of the ripple slightly down and maybe further over here, so we get more of it coming around here. Let's move it further down, a little bit to the left. Now let's give that a RAM preview. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see how that's turned out. So it's still a little bit crazy. And if you've noticed, there's nothing happening to the right side. So maybe my radius is too small. We could bump that up to 50. Yeah, that seems to be doing something. We'll go even higher. 70. Let's knock down the height down to 10. And the width, let's go further apart. We'll round that up to 60. One last preview. I think the only thing, if I was to knock anything down, is maybe the speed is quite fast. So if we halve the speed by 0.5. And the other thing I want to address is if you zoom in, you will see that the grass is also rippling. So we would need to duplicate this layer. Control D, right click, rename this grass. You could delete the ripple effect from the grass. Get the pen tool out and just start cutting these out. Let's just mask them out. And if we zoom out, we'll have a quick look. Yeah, I think that's good. So let's start animating the middle water. If you solo, now, as you can see, I have quite a messy mask here. And what I want to do is just solo this water part. So I'm going to duplicate the layer. And I'm just going to rename this middle section water 3 underscore right side. And I'm just going to mask this out and clean the rest of my mask up. I've renamed my layers, and I'm going to start using the ripple effect on this section of the water. So the first thing I want to do is grab hold of the water layer, just solo this out, grab hold of its anchor point and place it in the middle. Now with it in the middle, I just want to scale the water up just slightly so it overlaps the other layers. So we could go up by a few, just a little bit. Unsolo. Let's see what that looks like. Let's get rid of the borders. Yeah, we still have a few marks. We can cover that up very well. So the way to cover these holes up here is to duplicate the layer again, move it underneath, move down, and there we go. We can start covering up the rest of the layers. Move this one across just a little bit further up, and it's just a case of covering the rest of the holes up with water. There we are. And I'm going to grab hold of my ripple effect from the first water. Go to the effects control, click, Control C, go to middle water right side, Control V, and we can start seeing that water animate. And we can paste it on the one underneath as well, the filler. Now we're at the end of this lecture. I'm going to use the time after this to clean the masks, make sure there's no holes in the images, and if there is a hole, use a filler. And the way to use a filler is as we showed before. Duplicate the layer, bring the layer underneath, and then fill the hole. This could be on the walls, the water, and maybe even sometimes the building. It just depends on where some of the holes are. It's just a case of keeping it clean, cleaning up your image.